Alright guys, I wanted to do a review on a couple of things that people ask me about all the time. So I figured I'd bring one video and answer a bunch of questions here. One of my best tools I use is the grinder for cutting stuff that's, I can't get off. I use this grinder. Now, this is a 4.5-inch grinder. It should have a guard on it, but I don't have a guard on it because I use bigger blades. And the blades I use, these are the ones I use right here, 6-inch. They're cut off wheels, and they're made for cutting metal, full metal. Now, if you look at this, there's fibers inside there. So even if you stepped on this thing and this thing broke, they wouldn't fly off at you. They're great blades. See the fibers in there? And I use these all the time for cutting stuff. Now I get these at the welding supply house. Cut off wheels. Full metal. And they're 6-inch. Now I don't advocate anybody using a grinder without a guard. What I do and what you should do is two separate things. So, you can get a 4.5-inch grinder wheel and leave the guard on it. The only thing with this is you have to be very careful, and it will spit. If you're cutting into something that's got muck in it, it will spit the muck on you. But sometimes I need the depth. I need to be able to, I need the depth to be able to cut. Not always, but sometimes I do. So that's, a lot of people ask me about the blades. There it is. That's what I use. And I wanted to buddy something else. I wanted to buddy something else up with this video because it would probably be too short. So, my PVC carrier. Now, I've been using this PVC carrier since I've been in business for over 20 years. And it just recently broke on me. And I had a hard time finding a replacement for it. Nobody had them. So I ended up, buying this unit here, which was okay, but the base was bigger. You can see where the base sits in there. I like this here because it's shorter. The cans click inside. You just have to. I just use some duct tape to hold it in as a backup. And if you can look inside here, it's got little dogs where the cans clip in, top and bottom. And that's great, Once the cans are locked and loaded, I just wrap it with duct tape and no way they can fall out. This is an Odie. I don't know if you can see it. It's made from Odie. I found one supply house that still carries it, and I got an extra one, so that should probably last me the rest of my career. These things last a long time unless you drop them. What I like about this is you can drop it inside an antifreeze container. Yeah, what I like about this is you can drop it inside an antifreeze container or a 1-gallon oil container. What I do is I get some 1-gallon oil containers. I just cut the top off. You will tell a 1540 1-gallon oil container. And I just cut the top off, like I said. These things work great for a lot of things. Low profile, working on cars, on the toilets if you want to drain water. They're great. I use these all the time. I use one for my oil burner bleeding kit, and I also use one for if I'm going to be working under a sink. And, any of the drippings will fall inside this container. I use these a lot for underneath traps, removing traps. I love these containers. Great idea. It's another great idea right there. Low profile plastic container that can take oil, gas, anything. Very handy. Even like working on cars, you got a bunch of bolts. You want to, you're working, taking a tire off, throw the bolts in there, the nuts. Very good. You could use an antifreeze container, but the antifreeze containers are rounded more. I like the square profile of that. So that's it. That's the caddy for the PVC. It's an Odie. You can make one if you wanted. Or a lot of my buddies will do is a wrap duct tape around, and then they'll wrap the duct tape around this way. They'll make a handle out of it, and after you use it up, they'll just throw it out. A lot of guys will do that, but I like the plastic caddy. This one here, it's a plumb best. The only thing I don't like about this is the base. It makes it bigger, and it will not fit inside my. See, it won't fit in there. Two-can caddy. You know, if you're not concerned about room, that one will be okay, but this one is so much more streamlined and better. Alright, so hopefully that answered a couple of questions from a lot of my subs, and I'm going to do more of these reviews. A lot of guys will ask me questions about certain things I use on my videos, and by doing these little videos I kind of answer a bunch of questions and maybe bring something to the table you guys aren't using.